Hello everyone. Our workshop for today is for polynomial operations. So let's begin. So our first objective is that I can add and subtract polynomials of degree 1 and degree 2. So let us have our first example. So our first example, which expression is equivalent to this expression? So you have your answer choices. The way to do this is to use your technology. So we're going to use our Desmos and we're going to plug this in. The thing that you have to remember is whatever variable you have must be changed to x. So all of those t's must be changed to x. You're just going to have to plug it in the way you see it. So this is really not complicated. You just have to make sure that you are really aware and using your eyes in order to plug this in. And the reason why I'm showing you that I'm plugging this in is I want to model to you how careful I am in order for you to not make any mistakes. So how can we find the answer to this? What we're going to do is we're going to open another window here on Desmos and we're going to plug it in one by one. So I'm not done plugging. I'm on letter A, negative 6x squared minus 9x minus 5. And as you can see, the graph did not go on top of your original. So we're looking for the one that will go on top of the original. So okay, let's open another window and turn that off. The way to turn it off, again, click on that circle. So now we're just on the originals. And then I'm going to plug in letter B. So negative 6x squared minus 8x minus 5. And that is it. We found the answer. The one that went on top of the original is the answer. Again, to check it, turn it on and off. And you can see that the graph is on top of the other one. Let us go to the second example. Example number 2, simplify this expression. What we're going to do is to plug that in. Okay, so to save some time, I have already plugged it in. Go ahead and take a moment to plug in as I did on this part of Desmos. Alright, so we should have the same graph. And the way to look for the answer once again is to plug all of these in. And the graph that goes on top of your original is the answer. Okay, so I want to pretend that it's not yet plugged. Okay, so go ahead and plug in letter A. Let's do it together. So 3x squared minus 5x minus 1. We found the answer. That is the answer because it went on top of your original. I hope you get the point. Alright, so example number 3. The perimeter of a rectangle is 14c plus 12. If the length is 5c plus 7, what is the width? So let's go ahead and start drawing our rectangle. So you have a rectangle. And the perimeter, which you all know is the distance around, is 14c plus 12. And then it says that the length is 5c plus 7. Now, y'all know that the perimeter means, this word means it's the distance around. So, because that's the distance around, you also need this piece. That is also 5c plus 7. And guys, I'm not going to ask you to do this by hand. We are going to use Desmos. So, this is how we use Desmos. Plug in the perimeter. The c will turn to x, guys. Please remember that all the variables are going to go ahead and turn into an x. And what you're going to do is you're going to plug in that there are, to get the perimeter, there are 2 of this. So 5c will now become 5x plus 7. Then you're going to add that to 2 of each of these. So you're going to plug this in one by one and see which one goes on top of the first one. So let's go ahead and plug in letter A. So 2 of letter A, which means 2 of 4x minus 2. As you can see, it did not go through. So that is not our answer. I am just going to go ahead and revise that. This will stay because that is your length. And now I'm going to plug in letter B. And I'm going to replace the 4 into a 2. And then minus 5. It did not go through. It did not go on top. So that means that that's not the answer. I'm now going to go to letter C. So 2x minus 1. And it went on top. So here for number 3, the answer is letter C. So okay guys, this has to be done manually. So parentheses a plus b minus a. Please understand that there's a 1 here in the front. And you will have to remove the parentheses by distributing that. And so that would look like... Okay, and the reason why that became that is because of the 1 in the front here, and it got distributed 1 times a is a, 1 times b is b. However, on this one, it's negative 1. So negative 1 times b is negative b. Negative 1 times negative a is positive a. So the answer here is 2a. Let me explain why. So this a will be combined by this other a, making it become 2a, and this positive b and negative b will turn to 0 because they are inverses. Alright, let's now go to example number 5. It says simplify this expression. So 5a to the 4th, b to the 3rd, plus 3b to the 4th, minus 2b to the 4th, minus a to the 4th, b to the 3rd. So again, no strategy for decimals that I know of, so we're going to do this by hand. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to underline the like terms, and these are like terms because they have the same variable and the same exponents to the variable. And so that is going to be read as 5 minus 1 because there's a 1 there in the front. And 5 minus 1, you all know, is a 4. So for those two terms, it's going to look like 4a to the 4th, b to the 3rd. Now let's take a look at these two remaining terms here. This is going to be read as 3 minus 2. And so because 3 minus 2 is a 1, you will just have to say that that is a positive 1, b to the 4th. So that is our answer. So let us try to match it. I think the answer here is letter B. Alright guys, let us proceed to objective number 2. Objective number 2, I can divide polynomials of degree 1 and degree 2. So let us begin. What is the quotient of this expression? Guys, quotient means the result for dividing. So what you're going to do is you're going to use decimals. So very easy, just have to plug this in on decimals, but make sure to change all those variables into an x. Okay, let me show you how to plug this in on decimal. So you will have to cluster together the numerator. So I have put a parenthesis. So that is going to be 6x squared minus 13x. So it's again, change all the variables into x. So that is it. That is your numerator. So after that, you will press divide by, I will just cluster them together again in a parenthesis. So 3x plus 1 close parentheses. So that is your original expression. You're going to find the answer the moment you plug in your answer choices. It should go on top of it. So let us begin. So 2x plus 5 is not the answer. So I'm going to go ahead and go to letter B, which is a minus 5, and it went on top. So this one, the answer is letter B. Okay, let us proceed to example number 2 for objective 2. Joy divided these two polynomials shown below. What is the quotient? It's the same as the other one, guys, except that please understand this expression that is found inside the division house must be your numerator, and this one must be your denominator. Okay, so I clustered the whole of the the numerator, this one, inside the division house, I cluster them together by putting a parentheses, and then you will just press divide by 5x minus 4, and you will have your original graph. Your quotient is the one that goes on top of it, so let's begin typing this up. So 2x plus 1 went on top. So that, in this case, the answer is letter A. Alright, let's go ahead and proceed to example number 3. The long side of a rectangle is 3b plus 2 and its area is 6b squared plus 7b plus 2. What is the width? So, once again, you will have to draw your rectangle. Your rectangle has an area of whatever that is. That's your area. And the length is 3b plus 2. And you all know, guys, that area is length times width. So length times width. So you're going to have to do this by trial and error. You will have to pair this up with any of these, and we're going to use Desmos. Make sure that when you use Desmos, you're changing all the variables into x. Okay, so as you can see, I had plugged in the area here, which is 6x squared plus 7x plus 2. And what we're going to do, as I said, you're going to do length times width, using the length here, this one, and pairing it up with any width. So right here, I'm just going to go ahead and plug in 3x plus 2. And I had forgotten the parentheses, so don't forget. And then I will open parentheses here, plug this in one by one. So I'm going to start with letter A, which is 3x plus 1. And as you can see, your graph are not on top of each other. Therefore, letter A is not the answer. So instead of that plus 1, I'm going to go ahead and put plus 2 for choice B. So 3x plus 2. And still, it did not go on top of it. So I'm going to go to choice letter C. Okay, we need to fix this because I had accidentally, you're not changing this one because that is already your length. So that is still 3x plus 2. So no changing of the length. So my bad, guys. So don't change that. This is the one that you're changing. This is your answer choices. So we're on letter C. So I'm now going to change this into a 2b, which is x plus 1, which it went on top. So let's turn that off and turn it on, and we can see that it's really on top of it. So here, the answer is letter C. Let's go to the last and final example. Which expression is a factor of that is expression? You're going to plug this in on Desmos. Okay, after you plug it in on Desmos, you're going to plug in the answer choices one by one. And the line, because this would be a line, the line that goes through the x-intercept of your parabola is the answer. So let's begin. Let us now plug in x plus 2. You can see the x-intercept here. It did not go through those x-intercepts, so that's not the right answer. So I'm turning that off. Let's go ahead and plug in letter B, which is x minus 5. Again, you see that x-intercept, it did not go through either of these two. So let me turn that off. That's not the right answer. Let's go to letter C. That is x plus 10. See this x-intercept? It's not on those two. So that's not the right answer. So let's, with the process of elimination, it is letter D, which is x plus 5. And yes, it went through the x-intercept of your parabola, so that is the right answer. So good luck, guys, on your test.